Mazda have rejoined the coupe party with the replacement to their RX-7, the RX-8, which, like its predecessor, features their rotary engine. Banished from our shores some 5 years ago due to ever-tightening emissions regulations, this revolutionary power plant, designed by Dr. Felix Wankel, cue schoolboy giggles, is back. Wankel's design does away with valves and conrods in favour of a triangular rotor turning inside a cylindrical housing. So there's less friction and it's lighter. But there were always doubts over its reliability. So to shut everyone up, Mazda entered a rotary engine car at Le Mans and in 1991 became the first Japanese marque to win. But whilst the reliability of the engine may have been proven, there were still a few other drawbacks that prevented the rest of the world from running up the rotary path. Notably those emissions, but also poor fuel consumption and a lack of torque for low-down acceleration. Yet I can forgive it all of that because of this. 9,500 revs. Two models are available, a 190 bhp version that no one will want, and this one with a much more useful 230. Yet it still has less than 2/3 of the torque of the Nissan 350Z and does 6 miles to the gallon less than the 225 Audi TT. Bizarrely, the higher-powered model has less torque than its baby brother, so it really does need the extra 2,000 revs and the extra 6-speed in the gearbox. In many ways, it's like Mazda's answer to Honda's VTEC. If you want some action, you need revs, revs, revs. So you're going to have to use the gearbox. But then, isn't that what real driving is all about? Of course, there are those who will bang on about how amazing it is for a 1.3-litre engine, but it isn't really, because it's a whole different concept. And in fact, when it recently won an award for engine design, it was entered into the 2.5 to 3-litre category. Good seat, good driving position, nice steering wheel, and great dials. I really love that big rev counter in the middle with the digital speedometer neatly housed within it. In fact, generally interior has got sharp styling. I love this rotary centre console. But what on earth is that display all about? It reminds me of my first ever digital watch. Yep. Rear-wheel drive with traction control and option. The handling is very good, if somewhat on the soft side. In fact, it's more Audi than Nissan. But the steering feel is much better than the German opposition, and the gearbox, one of the best. Well, the change is spoilt by a rather uncomfortable rotary-shaped knob and a handbrake that tends to get in the way. So it's safe and solid, but no MX-5 in the handling department. However, this RX8 does have a lot more going for it. First of all, there's its looks. It's not as obviously pretty as an Audi TT, and admittedly it doesn't possess quite the same muscular road presence as a 350Z, but as an overall package, it works. Indeed, the longer I looked at it, the more I liked it. And for its pièce de résistance, the RX8 has something that none of the other opposition have. Something that Rolls-Royce made a big fuss about with their new Phantom. Suicide doors. Doors that ease access to the rear seats. And when I say seats, I mean real seats. This coupe is a genuine 4-seater. Added to that is the fact that at £22,000, it's something of a bargain. £5,000 cheaper than the equivalent Audi, but crucially only £2,000 less than the 350Z, which, unless you do have to carry your complete family with you everywhere you go, remains my pick of the coupe club. Still, time for one more rev.